From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the
Wake up!
beer
Florida State baseball offense. Bats, please, dude, wake up. Special edition of Wake Up War Chant. We're here in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm looking at Corey Clark. I'm also hanging out with Brady Clark, as well as Corey's better half, Stephanie. She's also here. We're doing a special remote edition of Wake Up War Chant presented by Zaxby's. There's not a Zaxby's in Omaha. Otherwise, we would be there.
It wouldn't be open this late if it was,
Yeah.
I don't think.
It's very late.
We're at the witching hour.
Florida State, fresh off the 2-0 loss, so we're going to try to make sense of it somehow. I really wish I had some Zaxby's right now to eat. By the way, what I ended up going with on Sunday, in case everybody wants to know, is, what is the name of them? I can't do this in the middle of the podcast. I forgot the name of it, but it's the little mini sandwiches I wanted, like the chicken fingers.
Oh, okay.
They're called Nibblers.
All right.
Nibblers. That's the name of
Nibblers.
it.
All right.
Nibblers. Do it. Do it.
They got the Aslan
Do it. Good.
seal of approval.
Good.
All
So,
right. The
two
seal of approval.
2 menu items down. I think about 37 more to go.
Right.
Before I
Good.
do the full Zaxby's Grand Slam. Will that happen first, or will Florida State find a way to score more than one run in Omaha, Corey?
Maybe Florida State will hit a grand slam in Omaha.
That'd be nice.
That can't happen. That doesn't happen out here.
I know. What will happen first? Will I eat every single menu item at Zaxby's, or will Florida State score more than one run in a game in Omaha?
I think they're going to score more than one on Wednesday. Will it be enough? I don't know. Texas Tech's good. They can hit. But I think they'll score more than one on Wednesday night.
You know, we did a video wrap-up, and I think we touched upon most of the
We're
important
at a
stuff.
sports bar, by the way,
Yeah.
in beautiful Omaha. We just had last call.
Yeah, we did.
So for people that know, that's how much we care. We're doing it on location,
Yep.
late at night, with Stephanie and Brady in the booth with us, just living the Omaha life, living it. We don't look weird at all with headsets on our faces with a bunch of people around us, but that's fine.
So this place is cruel. I mean, I think Auburn discovered that on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Arkansas discovered it as they were the first team to leave here. And unfortunately, Florida State discovered it, I think, on Monday night, that no matter how good you feel after winning one game here, you lose one game here and your world comes crashing down on you, it feels like. My fear, and I said in the video wrap, is that I just feel like this team, whatever magic they had, can you lose it in one game? It just feels like they regress to I mean, that's the Florida State team we saw for the better half of 50 games this season.
Yeah, maybe not that quite anemic on offense with 0 runs, but again, they don't play in this park. This park is a disaster. It really is a disaster for college baseball. I hate it. The more I hear,
Arkansas and Texas Tech was like a 5-4 game.
5-4, and that's an explosion for out here.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's like I was texting with Ira about it. It's like
The great Irish O'Fell.
The great Irish O'Fell. If the NCAA Final Four was played with 11-foot rims, 12-foot rims, so there's no dunking, or 30-foot three-point line, so there's no threes. It's a completely different sport out here because the park is so cavernous. Now,
everyone's
that's not
playing
an
on the
excuse.
same. Come on, man.
Michigan,
Yeah.
No, in Michigan played on the same field, and that kid hit a ball that was crushed.
Ooh.
The second pitch of the game, he tattooed that thing. Now, if he'd have hit it the same distance to dead center, it would have got caught up in that wind. It would have been caught before the track. But he hit it right down the line and crushed it. Good for him. Michigan certainly deserved to win the game. Just like Arkansas kind of got screwed in the first game on that Flowers catch. That's a home run in any park in America. Flowers can't catch that thing. It's a different sport. They've taken a sport where home run is a part of the game or just scoring in general and completely eliminated it. You know, Vanderbilt scored 3 runs on 2 swings. They had 5 hits. Vanderbilt's awesome. So anyway, that's not to say that Florida State deserves any, they don't deserve any pity. And you don't make excuses. Michigan played on the same field. Michigan won. They got a big 2-out hit. And they pick up the ball. That's what they do. And that kid was a really good pitcher. But this park is just I wish they got to scoot the fences in. They've got to do something to make this more like college baseball.
Maybe juice the balls up. They flattened the seams a few
let
years
them use
ago.
different
but
bats.
not
I don't
enough.
know. But again, at the same time, Michigan struck out 17 times in a game and won comfortably. Like Florida State never threatened. Like it wasn't like you went in the 9th inning thinking, "Here we go,
right?
Just get a guy home." It didn't matter. They hit a guy to lead off the 5th and the 6th inning. Didn't matter.
They got beamed, yeah.
Yeah, Flowers and Becker both got hit. Didn't matter. The next three guys made outs. The offense is not great right now. But
And it's
like
not going to bounce back, and it's
But yeah, and like I wrote in the column that I wrote that's on warchant.com that obviously all you fine folks have already read, when you score 1 run in 2 games, you should be on a plane back home. You should be. You're not supposed to be alive. They're still alive. Barely. The offense is basically flatlining. I wouldn't call them alive, but you still got a chance. You got a better chance than all but 5 other teams in the country to win a national championship. And Michigan isn't unbeatable. That team made Scolaro look like who? Kershaw?
yeah.
I mean, he
Left-handed
was like,
Greg Maddux?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Well, no, that was Tommy Henry, who was left-handed Greg
Well,
Maddux.
yeah, and again, he was really good, but all the pitchers were really good. Florida State hit probably.
Why can't they hit 90-mile-an-hour fastballs?
Yeah.
That's a concern.
But I mean, they can hit. Those Georgia guys threw a lot harder than 90.
But they
They threw mainly fastballs, and they couldn't throw their breaking balls for strikes. This kid could do that, and he kept them off balance. And he's lefty. And against a lefty-dominated lineup, especially with some kids at the back end that don't ever face lefties because they've been platoon players all year and they've just are not players at all, it was hard for them. They were facing a second-round pick that was a lefty that was throwing stuff that was breaking away from them. You could tell they weren't ready for it. But, I would say legitimately, this isn't an excuse. Florida State hit as many balls hard as Michigan did. More. Michigan put 10 balls in play the entire game. They struck out 17 times, but 7 of the 10 balls they put in play were hits. So good for them, man. You tip your cap, as I like to say. But they didn't outplay Florida State. They didn't dominate Florida State. Henry wasn't any better.
How did they not outplay Florida State? They outhit them like 7-3.
Because
got a complete game
say
shutout from their
Salvatore
starter.
hits his ball 12 feet to the left. That's a Becker leads off. Becker gets hit with the back.
Right.
Salvatore rips a ball. That was the hardest hit ball of the game, save for the home run, which was a bomb, by the way.
Was that the one that the guy
he
had
misread
lunge
it
up
and then had
yeah.
to jump for it? If that gets over that kid's head, all right, well, now you're second, third, nobody out, and all of a sudden you're feeling magic again. Right. Cooper Swanson hit the tar out of that ball. It was a one-hopper right to the shortstop. They made some plays. They made every play they had to make. And Florida State dropped a pop-up that was a foul ball. That was an error. Mendoza made a terrible throw. Neither one of those cost them anything. But they didn't play a clean game. Michigan did. And Michigan deserved to win. Right. But I'm just saying, it's not like Florida State played any worse Monday night than they did Saturday night. They just got a couple breaks. Flowers makes a catch at the wall. Yeah. Arkansas hit a bunch of line drives right at people.
Well,
early.
Flowers got on base, got hit by a pitch. It wasn't like that rally started with a hit.
Yeah, and the only way the rally starts is because he kicks the glove off the kid on the ground ball up the middle. So you got lucky one night and you won the game. You beat a team that's better than you. You didn't get lucky on the next night. That's baseball. I mean, it is. It is. This team, other than that weekend in Athens, isn't a good enough offensive team.
And that one inning in Game 1 against LSU.
Yeah, it isn't a good enough offensive team to beat really good teams without getting some luck. And they just didn't. The kid didn't walk anyone. I don't know what Florida State's approach should have been. Take more pitches, swing earlier.
Well,
it didn't matter.
I mean, Salvatore's
the only one that hit him.
Yeah, I mean, he led off the game with a double. Then they were no hit for the better part of 6 innings after that, or something crazy like that.
So he leads off the game with a double. Reese Albert follows up, who hasn't. I don't know if he's got one hit since the 2 home runs in LSU. He rips the ball. That's a line shot to left fielder, who's positioned perfectly down the line, and he doesn't have to move. That ball's ripped. Again, if he hits it 20 feet to the right in the gap, all of a sudden, some of it's bad luck. You can't, you're not necessarily you can control where you're going to hit the ball. You just try to hit the ball hard. He put a good swing on it. If he hits it to right field, then you got a runner at third with 1 out. Or he hits it over somebody's head. It was not encouraging at all. The offense has scored 2 runs in 26 innings since the 4th inning of the Game 2 against LSU. But, man, it's really hard to score out here. And with Albert having a bad shoulder, not swinging well, Mendoza doesn't have a hit out here yet. I don't know. Robbie Martin might have 1 hit. He got robbed tonight. But, when those 3 guys aren't going, what do you do? It's just they're not loaded with high-round draft picks in this offense. Flowers is a fourth-round pick, but not as a hitter. So you hope that they can find some magic again. Because in Athens, they looked like the best hitting team in the country.
Yeah.
LSU, not so much. Remember, they got no hit through 5 innings in that game. Got no hit through 6 innings in the second game. But so they have lulls. It is almost a minor miracle that they're still alive in the College World. It is a miracle. They're alive in the College World Series. Not only thinking about where they were a month ago, but thinking about where they, 1 run in 2 games, and you're still alive. Now you got to hit. You got to make contact, and you got to find some holes. But maybe they're just due. Maybe the slump's over, buddy. Maybe they're due for some breaks.
I have the same feeling going into this Texas Tech game that I had going into the NC State game at the ACC championship or ACC tournament. I'm just like, it's got to be, or there's just no way you bounce back. Like, you don't bounce back from the way you lost to Wake Forest when you know you needed a win. And they went out and surprised everybody. So, I mean, I guess they could. I guess what you cling on to, and, hey, man, I'll admit it, I screwed up on my scouting report. I didn't realize Tommy Henry, I know he was kind of their pseudo number 2, I think, or maybe they're even their pseudo number 1.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a second-round pick, and he was their number 3 guy. But unfortunately, it seems like Mike Martin Jr. didn't either. I mean, I know he's a lefty, but I will say this. And I'm not. That was a low blow. I don't mean that. Love you, Meat. You're going to be the next head coach. Let's have a good relationship.
Smart. Unless the Michigan guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we can run at the Michigan guy.
The Michigan guy, when that dude slid into third face first like Willie Mays Hayes from, Major League.
I mean, that was a face plant. That kid's a good athlete. That's as unathletic as that guy has probably ever looked in his life.
How does that happen? Like,
Brady looked more athletic in the pizza contest game. By the way, for the folks that don't, nobody would know. I guess you were there. My son Brady, unbeknownst to me, because he was sitting with Stephanie, got picked to be in the a 5th inning contest on the field with a pizza box race in front of 26,000 fans. And his team lost. They had a lead. Brady, you struggled a little bit to pick up the box at the end. You put it on.
Whoa, hey.
Well, he did a little bit, but
he played
made
by the
up
rules,
for it
man.
by diving across the finish line with all 6 boxes.
Effort, man.
And holding it like you were supposed to. The other team cheated. The Michigan kids cheated and were tucking it under their arms like they were carrying a football. You're supposed to hold it like a pizza tray.
Like a tray.
Yeah,
man.
and Brady did it right. Those kids cheated.
They did.
And they got rewarded for it. And Brady gave it his all. But, what are you going to do? That was probably the highlight of the night, really, for Florida State. It's as close as they came to winning anything.
What was I saying before you cut me off with that great story?
I can't remember why I brought up.
The face plant. Thanks,
Brady was more
Stephanie's
athletic
here,
than that kid face planting in the third.
When that happened, I was on the first base dugout because I was getting ready to film Brady doing said contest.
Right.
Maybe we should make that premium content. You can only find it on warchant.com. Use the promo code warchant30 for 30 free days of access. But he was walking off the field with the player for a little bit, and like you could see the way he was talking to the guys. They had at that point I think it was 2-0. I don't know if it's because to your point that offense is just this is where offenses come to die is TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska, or that they just felt like they had Florida State figured out. I don't know how much confidence you can have in Tommy Henry's going to be able to get you another 12 outs without allowing a run, but they were walking off talking. Just they had that loose feeling that you would hope Florida State had. I mean, I texted you and I before the game. I'm like, CJ's either going to vomit all over himself or he's going to be absolutely lights out. And I was wrong. I mean, he was all right.
He was middling.
Yeah, he was middling
for him.
But I part of me thinks that whatever good juju we thought happened on Saturday night, I think that they, I think 11 was projecting in the press conference after the game. Like, these guys got a good head on their shoulders there. They know they haven't accomplished anything yet. I think they did. I think they felt like they did. And don't want to say they took Michigan lightly, but I don't think they were expecting that. I think Michigan punched them in the mouth. Michigan got ahead on them early. They made CJ work his rear end off.
Yeah.
And then Henry was painting the strike zone. I mean, it seemed like they got so many 0-2 counts, and when they got an 0-2 count, they were going to chase the next pitch, and they went down swinging on balls. That just
but that's going to happen. That happens when you're in an 0-2 hole. You got 2 strikes. You have to protect, and you get into more defensive. Don't want to take a called third strike, but that guy's really good. He's a good pitcher, and I thought the only thing I really wanted to give Michigan credit for offensively. Yeah. Not defensively and pitching. The guy was good. But offensively, they did make Van Eyck work. And I wrote in the column, if their game plan was to get him out of the game, it was perfect. I mean, the guy threw 105-6 pitches and didn't get out of the fifth. And he's rock solid. All his strikeouts were after battles. They had 15 or 16 foul balls with 2 strikes. It was a great approach. But then the relievers came in and shoved it straight up their behinds. Yeah. So it wasn't like that was the story of the game, like getting Van Eyck out and then running it up. They didn't score after Van Eyck came out of the game. 2-0. So Haney and Scalaro, again, that was like, hey, which side do you want it from? Because we're bringing it either way. Michigan, do they not have sidearm in the Big Ten? Do they not have left-handed pitchers in the Big Ten? I mean, they looked completely lost. But, they got 7 hits. I think all of them were off Van Eyck, or at least 6. I think all of them were off Van Eyck. The bullpen was great. And Van Eyck, they did a good job with him. He was good enough. They ran up his pitch count. He struck out 9 guys. Yeah. But
you said in the video, they scored 1 run in 2 games, which means they should be on a plane back to Tallahassee. They've only surrendered
2 runs
in 2 games, so they should be be having the next 3 days off.
Yeah. Again, I'm not making
excuses the offense, man. I'm not blaming anything on the pitching.
No, the pitching's been great. But I thought the story of the game in the 5th inning was going to be they got Van Eyck out of the game and the floodgates open. Well, that didn't happen.
No.
Those guys were nails. They were really good. Your staff has given up 2 runs in 18 innings against 2 College World Series teams. It's been great. Now, again, there is an asterisk because no pitching staffs give up a ton of runs, earn runs out here. But still, it's not over. But you have to figure out a way to start. I don't know.
They got to score 5 runs to beat Texas Tech, I would think. I mean, with Connor Grady going, unless he pitches what he did against Florida, but how good was Florida after all?
But also,
Texas Tech scored runs, man.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good offense. Florida State got a little bit unlucky in the sense that no other team I don't think, has had to face 2 second-round picks back-to-back. That's tough. In a game 2 to face a second-round pick is tough. Now, Van Eyck, you could say, will be a first-round pick next year. So that wasn't great. I don't know if he will be, but he's going to be a high pick, I think, as long as he's healthy. So that wasn't great luck for Michigan. But, it's just it's so odd to watch a game in this place because 2-0 feels like 6-0.
Yeah.
I remember when they had the
you say that, though, but I'm like, if they can just get somebody on, like the pilot light is still on this team. They just need a little spark to keep it going and keep it running hot. I mean, they had 2 innings where they got beamed to start the inning.
They got 2 guys on, and then, like I said, after the
Matt Nelson had 2-out double, and they couldn't do anything with that either.
And so after again, this is baseball. So after Flowers gets hit by a pitch to start that inning, Nelson comes up and rips a ball down the line. It's foul. Strikes out. DeSatis comes up. Rips a ball down the line that the third baseman tries to go to dive for. Gets by him. It's foul. A few inches. I mean, really, a few feet here or there. They did hit the ball as hard as Michigan did. Just Michigan found holes. They didn't. And that's when you have a truncated tournament like this where it feels like it's a one-off. If you lose, you're done, even if it's the first loss. That stuff is magnified. And, also, they swung and missed too much, and Tommy Henry was really good. But the balls they did hit hard, they got unlucky sometimes. And Michigan hit balls hard and they found holes, or the seats on the first one.
Let's start wrapping this up.
Don't you think, and I was telling you on the video, they're playing the Buggles right now. Video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
A little bit of trivia. I don't know if you would know this. This was the first video played on MTV.
Right.
Yep. Which makes sense. It's a good one to play.
Poetic.
Big hit. Probably my favorite Buggles song. But it's funny. You laugh. They didn't. They're not even listening. But that was clever. Isn't this like? Look, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just not expecting anything.
I wasn't either, but they won their first game, Corey.
Sure.
And I felt it, man.
But I'm saying
you felt
now.
it. Come on, man.
Like I almost feel like. Look, I don't. It would be hard pressed to imagine how a scenario where Florida State could beat Vanderbilt 2 out of 3. It's baseball. Crazy stuff happens. But so even if they got to the championship series, it was going to be a difficult task to beat Vanderbilt or Mississippi State. But don't you think this is like where this team needs to be? Like nobody now expects them to. Most people think Florida State's season is over Wednesday night. Just like most people thought their season was over when they went to Athens. Or Durham, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people thought that. Everybody thought their season was over when they went to Baton Rouge. So when we start thinking,
you keep saying that.
most people, I certainly did. When people think this team's season is over, they find a way to do something, but they've never faced elimination. I don't know how many teams out here are in that boat, but they have never faced elimination. I think Michigan has. Yeah, I know Michigan did because at UCLA. Texas Tech definitely has.
Yep.
So all these teams have faced elimination. Florida State hasn't. But,
Mississippi State hasn't either. They've been undefeated.
And I doubt Vanderbilt has either.
No, they lost to Duke. Remember, they lost a game 1 to Duke.
Yeah. So Vanderbilt's had to do it.
MSU and FSU are the only 2 teams that are undefeated coming into the tourney.
Everybody else has faced elimination but Florida State, so they have to handle that part of it. But also, again, it's you got to have a mindset of why not us? Nobody expects us to do this, especially now.
They should. I'm just afraid they won't. I think.
But if they don't, they don't. They're still out here in Omaha. We're still at DJ's dugout at midnight on a Monday night. Brady was just front of 26,000 people diving with 6 pizza boxes in his hand. He was on TV on Saturday night. We've experienced all this anyway when nobody thought we'd experience. So it's already been a win for the program and for Mike Martin to go out on. But maybe they can make it a little more magical. Maybe there's a chance. Is there a little fairy dust?
All my skepticism, if they can beat Texas Tech, I don't see any reason why they couldn't beat Michigan two times in a row. Really, truly.
Especially if they kidnap Tommy Henry and throw him in a sewer somewhere.
Well, let me ask you this seriously as we wrap up.
If a Florida State fan kidnapped Tommy Henry and cut off 2 of his fingers on his left hand,
whoa.
How many runs does Florida State score on him? 3? Because he's got to learn to pitch without 2 of his fingers.
His breaking ball's done with.
You can't. He's going to have to throw fastballs. Yeah. Is it the pinky and the thumb that you cut off? Or probably the middle finger and the ring finger? Just saying, folks, I know some of you listen to this and you're in Omaha. I can tell you, if you DM me, I can tell you what hotel Michigan's staying at.
Seriously, though, as we do wrap up, I know we're having fun out here.
Seriously, I am being serious.
How crazy is that it could be the last game Mike Martin coaches on Wednesday night? Like,
in all seriousness, too, yeah, it is crazy, and I am glad that Brady's here for that. I think it's a neat thing for him to experience. I think in that moment, however it ends, if it ends with him hoisting a trophy, which it probably won't, or if it ends on Wednesday night or Friday afternoon, this crowd in this stadium and this, because it does matter. I know I don't like that stadium, but the crowds are huge college baseball fans, and they appreciate that guy. And it will be really neat to see for him to come out and give a wave and a tip of the cap to these people, into this stadium, into this sport. And it's cool that Brady will be here to see that because nobody's ever going to win 2,000 games in anything ever. And so for Brady to be here and for me and you to be here when Stephanie's leaving, by the way, folks, I would have included her. That's a neat thing, man, and it's neat that it's out here. And I know he's going to be disappointed, and all Florida State fans are going to be disappointed if and when this run comes to an end. But that it can be appreciated for how it ended. This crazy run we've gotten to witness, and that we're all out here. I hope Tommy Henry can sleep at night. I mean, good grief, man. Was he 20? He's going to sign for $1.2 million, and he can't let 11 go out with a national championship? Tommy Henry doesn't care if his team wins a national championship. He didn't go to Michigan to win a national championship in baseball. Nobody does that. Good grief.
For Corey Clark, that's Lunch of Andy. Thanks for listening. We probably won't have a show on Wednesday.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, probably not. Thursday, though.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Hey, we'll be back here at the dugout on Thursday.
We'll find the closest Zaxby's. You do the same. Have a great one, everybody.
The universe is a big place, so you should feel especially lucky you ended up on the same planet with Zaxby's. And right now, we're cooking up our special Cajun Spiced Blackened Chicken for our Cajun Club Sandwich and Black and Blue Salad. It's an intergalactically delicious taste experience, and you don't have to travel light years to get it. The Cajun Club Sandwich and Black and Blue Salad, only at Zaxby's.